What's going on, broskies? It is Lupus, and in today's video I would like to talk to you guys about Battlefield Bad Company 3 and whether or not we will get the game and whether or not we even need it. Before I get into that though, I'd like to quickly apologize for not being able to upload in the past week. I did say that I was going to start uploading regularly during the week, but every freaking time I say that, something bad happens. And then the last time, my computer just completely derped out, and I had to reinstall Windows and start from scratch. And once I did that, I had to reinstall all my video games, all my programs, just to make some videos. And I did have a video that I tried to upload last weekend, and something happened every time I uploaded it, every time I rendered it, and I just kind of gave up on that video and decided that I was going to put that aside and try and use that video again in the future. But for now, I wanted to focus on other things such as this video right here. I'd like to also apologize for there not being any audio in the background, and the reason for that is because Shadowplay is just derping out, and a lot of people have had this issue since the last update. So I did put some music as a filler, and I hope you guys can accept my apology for not being able to actually have the game volume. But as I said, we are going to be talking about Battlefield Bad Company 3 and why we will not see it in the future, or why it is just not even a possibility at this point. To start off with, I would like to explain why a lot of people want to see the game. If you have not played Battlefield Bad Company 2, I would definitely recommend downloading it on your PC, buying it for your console, whatever you play on, and just trying it out, because once you play the game, you understand why a lot of people like it. Now, there is some sort of sluggish look to it, and the reason behind that is just the POV setting that the game has. It looks like you're running fairly slow, but in reality, you're actually running faster than most of the other Battlefield games to date. And visually, the game looks very good. It runs on the Frostbite 1 engine, which even to this day is one of the better looking game engines that I have seen, and it has a very unique style to the way that it looks that it pleasures me as well as a lot of other people. The netcode as well is very good, the destruction is awesome, the connectivity is great, and the single player is also something that is surprisingly good in a DICE game. In the past, Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 both have not had the greatest single player campaigns. Battlefield 4 is being very short, and Battlefield 3 is just not having very relatable characters. Bad Company 2, however, had a very lengthy campaign that was action-packed, it was funny, the characters were relatable, you could understand them, you felt for them, and when things happened to each and every one of them, you kind of felt remorse for them, you laughed with them, and the campaign was just something you don't usually see in a DICE Battlefield game lately. And a lot of people would like to see that ignited again and just rekindled in another Battlefield Bad Company 3 game, and there just doesn't seem like we're going to be getting it. And now I would like to explain why. Well, recently we found out that there is probably going to be some sort of Battlefield Police game or SWAT based game where it is going to be made by Visceral Games, because DICE is working on Battlefront 3 as well as Mirror's Edge, and they are not going to have the time to work on the next Battlefield game, and EA would like to make a Battlefield game almost every year at this point. So it seems like Visceral Games has been pulled in to make a police/SWAT based Battlefield game. And a lot of people have been very iffy on this, because what this means is just the simple fact that it is going to be a police-based game is going to mean that it's not going to exactly be your standard Battlefield game with tanks and all kinds of vehicles, because if you're going to be playing as the SWAT, you don't usually have all those resources. And if there are wars in territories where the police are called in, and then they start bringing in tanks, at that point the National Guard will take over, and it won't even be a SWAT-based game. So this game is probably going to be more like a Call of Duty Medal of Honor fast-paced corridor shooter, and hopefully they bring in basics. They don't have all these ridiculous kill streaks and ridiculous gadgets that make the game unplayable, but it basically focuses on sheer gunplay, which is a lot of people are hoping will happen. But because that is kind of a coin toss, a lot of people also have negative ideas towards this game. Visceral Games doesn't have as much experience at making games like this, so a lot of people are worried about that. Another thing is, in the future, people are thinking maybe after this Battlefield Police game is out and over with, that DICE will be able to make a game in the next 2 years or so. Well, in 2018, it has been leaked information that we might be seeing a game called Battlefield 5 Armageddon, which I did make a video on talking about. And in this game, or this game is coming out in 2018, which is supposedly the next closest date that DICE could begin making a Battlefield game because of all the projects that they have at this point. So if that's the case, then it doesn't look like we're getting a Bad Company 3. That doesn't mean that it's impossible, but at this point it doesn't seem very likely, and the hopes that we have almost seem crushed because of all this other information we have received telling us otherwise. And a lot of people would like to see all of this Bad Company 2 hype that we had come back, and I honestly don't think we need the game because I don't know if DICE can pull it off. I don't want to see such a successful series go down and burn because DICE doesn't have the creativity they once had. Because if you look at the game since Bad Company 2, the campaigns haven't been as fun, and you don't want to see them ruin the campaign for Bad Company 3 if they lost any ideas that they had. And maybe some other team could pick it up and start a new first-person shooter series called Bad Company and not even be a Battlefield game at all, and maybe that would be something we could potentially see, which would actually be very fun. But at this point, it doesn't even seem like we're going to be getting the game. So what I would like to know is whether or not you guys would like to see Battlefield Bad Company 3, and what would you give up for Bad Company 3? So what would you do for BFBC 3? So anyways, that is all for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys did, be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to hear your opinions on Battlefield Bad Company 3 and whether or not we will get it in the comment section down below. But as always, this has been Lupus, and I will catch you guys in the next one.